Hello, I'm Steve and this is Long Stay Workshop. Before I start the next job, which is another transistor radio, again to come on by there, the Decca, by the way, this, but I haven't seen much Decca stuff before, but this one I've had a rough life. But anyway, before I start, recently I've been in hospital. I've been ill actually, and I've had a biopsy. At the moment I'm waiting to see whether I do have cancer or not, so if I disappear, that is why. That's why recent jobs have been a little bit lacklustre. That's why. So please put up with me on that. Also, by the way, this workshop is being redeveloped at the moment, which is why the place is a mess. So until then, I can't do much else. Anyway, let's get on with it and let's look at this here Decca Debonaire transistor radio. These good sets apparently, but this one has had a bit of an interesting time of it. That's not moving right at all, as you can see. Handle's broken. I'll just hack for that. And of course, on volume control, and that's it doing now. So it doesn't work, by the way. I wouldn't take it on if it did, like, you know. But anyway, let's get started. Right, a Decca Debonaire. So let's have a look and see what's going on inside this. It sounds like this, by the way. Like anything like this, first thing you do is have a look and see what you've got to what we're dealing with here. This is an early 60s set, by the way, so like many sets of this kind, they do in fact have an aero socket on the back. But anyway, that comes off, and in here we go, and the battery's in it, as you can see. Probably dead, but there we go. So someone's been in here before to put them on. Not terribly well, but we'll do our best with it. And nothing else appears to have been done at all, which is good. And the handle, by the way, yeah, need to take the cabinet apart, I think, for that. So I'll take these off, and we'll look at it from there. By the way, these sets run on 12 volts, which is why it's got two of these on. There were actually at the time capacitors, batteries which did 6 volts, and 2 of those, so they've been replaced with these. So that is how it was done. But high and die and JCB, so that obviously cheap batteries. So I need to get some that work. And also we need to check all that and make sure that's okay as well. What else? Well, first of all, this set doesn't appear to have any embedded AF117 in it, which is in its favour. Obviously it'll have to come out because, of course, I have to tuning dial. That's one thing. So that comes out, and that comes out, like so. Put them with them like that, and see if it'll now. And the front dial to come off as well, which we have to do because, of course, we need to look at it anyway. So the front dial also has to come off. Now these are a bit funny. There are various ways of doing it. Some people put a string under these, some pull, or others use a screwdriver. I basically, it depends how well put on it is and how on the. Look at that, you see now. That's coming off that. So that was come off, and then we'll look and we'll see what if anything is doing to it. Something will, by the way, for a set of this era. More than likely capacitors. Well, first of all, obviously pair, so start by just for the hell of it, finding out whether these batteries have got any life in them. I suspect probably not. The meter is on 2 volts, so that's 0.2 volts on that one, and this other one here is 0.35. So those batteries are, like I suspected, well and truly done, but the holders themselves are probably okay. Now I'm also with this going to look very closely at the power supply here. Look at that. That wire goes to speaker, fair enough. That wire goes between the two to make the 12 volts. That one more than likely goes to the on-off switch. I think this is probably negative ground because I noticed they're BMP transistors. So of course that's something else to deal with. But like I said, on this set, they're not the dreaded AF117 variety, the ones before it, which usually are okay, so they might just have got away with that. But now let's, so like I said, this lot here, all that is going to come out, and I'm going to put 2 ordinary battery clips in. Because I can use those PP9s on other sets anyway, so nothing is wasted. Like I said, that has to come out. The radio will have to come out of the case. I'm still working on that. I will go behind you see it does give a few problems, but basically I noticed that actually there are 2 separate boards on this: an amplifier board and an RF IF board with the diode, which is here. The motor hunt capacitors, they'll need to come out, and the 2 are linked together by a B7G socket and valve base. Now, before I get the manual out, let's see what we can find out about this set without the manual. So it's an interesting thing to try out. First of all, the output transformer, about 200 ohms or thereabouts, as you can see that. Okay, that's okay. Now then, why does this set have 2 batteries rather than 1? Well, in many sets of this kind, the loudspeaker is connected between the 2 sets of batteries, yeah, and so the link between the 2 also goes to the speaker. Watch out for that, because some of these sets, that is the way it's done. Resistors and capacitors, we'll check with anything Hunts or TCC we will replace, but also we're checking to find out things like whether the things work okay. So that goes to that negative. These sets, and watch out for this, by the way, with germanium sets, because it can get you a negative ground. Yeah, these sets are negative ground. You see, negative ground. No, sorry. So negative power, like that. You see, negative power. You see, so this thing is negative power, which can fox a few people. Previous point, by the way, if I go onto the positive wire here, like that, and go to ground, there you are. You see? So everything goes to ground. So that's something else to watch out for. Now, with that in mind, let's get a manual, have a look, and look at what we need to replace. Probably not a lot. This is not as in a bad condition as we thought, but obviously things will need to be done on this as well, including sorting out the handle, which I can do one of two ways. I'm not decided which yet, but at some point, very soon, we will be doing. Never, by the way, carry a radio by the handle, because handles now, and very much for show rather than anything else. Always pick up a radio like that. Yeah, not by the handle. Just the tip to the top. Oh, by the way, also, I noticed the Decca Debonaire thing on the front is faded. Again, there's a way of dealing with that as well, but that will all come on later in the video. It's the circuit of the output stage of this Decca Debonaire. Quite a few Decca sets operate in the same way. Now, most push-pull stages operate with two transformers. This has only one. The speaker goes from with two transistors there as normal through to the middle of the two batteries. 6 volts and 6 volts, so it goes in the middle there. It hoodwinks it basically, rather than putting a transformer in. That's something which does happen. So the transformer we've seen there is the is interstage, which is this one here. Okay. So now, from there, also we've got a feedback loop here, and that capacitor, by the way, is one which I'm going to be changing, as is that one. Okay, and probably that one as well, and the couple of interesting looking hunt capacitors as well, so they will also be removed from the circuit. I think one of them is there, and the other one is on the somewhere on the IF circuit, but that one and that one. So that's basically what we're going to do with it. Because it's built that way, and because it was such a mess before. Now at this stage, before the front comes off, which I might be able to do, so that might be Andy's job, I'll wired up and tied up the battery contacts on this. The middle of the battery contacts goes to the speaker, which is this wire here, the grey one, and black and red go to the heater connections, sorry, back power connections as normal. So yeah. Anyway, so now switch it on and see. Oh, thank you. Yes, and see what it does. That's, yeah. Let's see what I just put the third one on. Oh well, it speaks. It should be louder than that. It should be a lot louder than that. But we know from that most of the things in it are working. The output transistors here are not getting hot, nor is the driver. Over here the IF ones aren't either. It's not it's not a pre-wage, but you know, if it's getting hot, then switch off straight away. Okay, but also with this one, don't forget, by the way, when you're powering up, please put that P7G connector in first. Otherwise, it won't power up at all. It will sit there and do nothing. But there you go, because the on-off switch is up here, goes through it. You see, that's why. Anyway, at this point now, it's sort of just about working. So we know we've got a good one of some kind or another here. So now we can start on capacitor changing, because I reckon that's what it'll be. And from there we can check and find out. Now, nothing I will check very quickly is this transformer here, because these transformers here are these transformers here, they do actually. I can if got one. If this one's not working on both transistors, I can sort it, but you know, it's something which I'd have to deal with, you know. But we can deal with it, don't get me wrong, but you know, it can be a bit, it can be a little bit I'm not convinced about that actually, because that's the input. So these transistors here on the output, obviously something's getting through, so that'll be okay. So now, of course, I'll look at the circuit again and look at what capacitors we need to change if we go any further. First of all, the feedback loop is fed through this one here, like I said before, so that one has to come out. That one has to come out because that is one which goes across the battery today, so that would leak, the battery won't last very long. That one come and cause us trouble, and that one of course on the IF as well. On the other side, the circuit, that's again, there you are. It's much the same really. It's that one which we've got, that one there, and anything which hunts on it is obviously taken out straight away. So we now have to get on with it and find out. Always, by the way.
But it is a bit of both. Seeing the players, like team should be scoring, and he's just not. So
it might be a case of alignment, but capacitors on this need to be changed anyway, so that's what I'll do. New capacitors today are a lot smaller than the ones that were there then, so we can get them in, but have to extend wires and things to do that. Otherwise, it looks a mess. We pretty well anyway, you know. But there you go. But it is doing something.
If you want to do a little bit of magic.
First leg lead for Bayern in Rome.
That's Virgin. That's the one that I do test on. But listen, how quiet that is on maximum volume, and it's got new batteries in it, so it shouldn't be that quiet. It is, but it shouldn't be. Right, now I've got this set out, come hell or high water, I got it out. Basically what I did with it, I got a screwdriver and levered it up over several minutes actually, so it's not on camera because it would have made for an extremely boring video with some bad language in it, so I didn't. Hope you don't mind that, but all you do is either put a string behind them, or just pull them out gradually with a screwdriver. They do come into the end, but it does take time. Anyway, this board has now all capacitors taken over. I'll just take you through what they all are. Okay. First of all, there's a pointer. There we are. That one is this one here, Holmes capacitor. So has to come out. That capacitor actually, if it goes low in value, which that one probably has, limits the audio through to the stage. So if radio comes in with very, very low audio, that is the first place you look. Okay, that one there. Okay. Also, that one on the amplifier feedback line, and that one, which goes across the battery terminals. So it's a good idea to change it. And oh god, where's the other one? That one, that one, that one, and there should be another one, but I can't see it actually. That one, that one, that one, and there should be another one somewhere, but I can't find it right now. But they're all linked up to this stage here. They all have to be changed, so they all have to be changed, so they all will be changed. The capacitors in this are something like 60 years old. By the way, the resistors seem to be alright on this, which is surprising, but there you go. I just checked a few randomly, they seem to be okay. Oh, that's the one there, that's the variance on the transmitter, transmitter for that's the bias on the P-driver stage there. So that one, that one, that one, and that one. So those four are going to be changed, and then of course it might actually look better as a result. On the other one, by the way, there are, I'll just put it up for you to see. There are 2 or 3 capacitors there which are electric, which are on the IF side. There's 2 there around the diode which I've taken out, didn't improve things, but let's have a look. And that one there, on this circuit here is I think this one here, which is the AGC. Now AGC, what the AGC does, if you get a station that booms in, it holds the receiver back, as it were, makes it less sensitive. But when there's no station or distant one, it becomes more sensitive. So that radio, that capacitor, basically what it does, it takes any RF or audio, something, anything that shouldn't be on that line. That's what that one's for. So yeah, so now it's time to go and start changing caps. With all these capacitors changed now on this side of the board, there was no change whatsoever, none. But coming over here, the 2 caps here around the diode, I changed those and negated nothing, so that there's pallet caps here which, well, obviously not alright, would have still worked okay in this set. So, you know, some people change the caps, some don't. I went to this case. But on this unit, the capacitors on the IF stages, forget the circuit. Can you see that? If we get you the circuit like that, you see there that capacitor there, and the AGC cap there. Just changing those 3 out brought the volume up rather well, as you can see.
It was one of the greatest football articles I've ever read, and the headline, Rob, was "What a silly savage." Was that an overwhelming editorial decision?
So that gets us a little bit closer to home, but not all the way, because this radio now has a problem called whistling. Whistling screeches on radios are very difficult to find. I don't like going around just tweaking pots until I know that it is an alignment problem. But I know from this, all the transistors are okay on it. I know that side's okay. So I think what we'll do now here, since I've started capacity changing this, which is not something I normally do, I might possibly change the rest of the caps on this side of the board here, which just to see if it'll do it. It probably won't, in which case we're down to fault finding. Capacitors have got to change over the years. They're what came out. These are what came out. There you go. They're what came out. And what went in are these smaller electrics of today. Obviously, this is a board jack kit of all the small capacitors. I wasn't putting 230 volt capacitors in a 12 volt radio. That is silly and expensive. So obviously I'm not going to do that. But I've got that one to change and that one to change. And we'll try it again. and see what happens. But I do think that in this particular case, at this point, it does what it does rather well work, but it's not out of the woods yet. And then once it's working okay without making a noise, then we get onto the case. With those latter capacitors changed on the board, of course, all the whining and whistling is now completely gone. That's the one that was causing it was one of the two on the power supply line, which have now been changed. So all the caps in this have now been changed, and as you can hear, there you are. It's working across all bands. Obviously, we can't do that on air because, of course, copyright. Now, at this point now, I'm going to leave this out of the situation for a while now. I'm going to get to work on the cabinet. Now, the cabinet on this radio is in a bit of a state, so let's just put this out of the way and get the cabinet. Here is the back of the cabinet, which is a bit worse for wear, so we'll start by giving it a good clean with the old rag and foam cleanser. This stuff brings things up extremely well. It really is the best it can get for this sort of thing. Also with this, I noticed that the back is coming off, so I'll deal with that when it's cleaned up properly, which it will be in a second. It just comes straight off. This stuff, this stuff brings everything off. It's amazing. Well, Boris Johnson has changed the goalposts again. I think £5,000 fine to go abroad. What is it with this country? Seriously, I mean, yeah, okay, we've had a virus. Lots of people have had a virus, which I don't doubt. But I can't stop thinking that now, a lot of it now is government control. To get something like this sorted with the people, you have to put the people on board, get the people on board to help you. And Boris Johnson and his cronies are doing quite the opposite than that. They're doing, they're just making people worse, and it will come up to roost for them. Believe me, it will, because people can only take so much, and people are getting very fed up with this now. Again, quite rightly so as well. You know, there comes a point when people think enough is enough, and that point in Britain is coming, and before long something will happen one way or the other. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. I don't know what, but something will happen. I mean, already all the COVID fans are being thrown out of court, you know. I mean, yeah, most of the police are obeying orders. They don't understand. But it seems to be a general lack of common sense. By common sense, I mean simple things like, you know, people getting tickets for going to see the grandma at a residential care home at 90 odd, that sort of thing. And I'm sorry, but you know, I know rules is rules, and I know that, you know, but you know, they need to sort out what rules to follow and when to follow them 100%, and when to say, okay, fair enough. Yeah. I mean, I now, for example, I've got the virus jab, the vaccine, and so I'm not saying I won't get it, but at the same time, you've got to realise that, you know, you might see. I realise that I might get it still. I realise that, but depression is getting me quite badly now. And whether you like it or whether you're not, I'm not the only one. And the next thing in this country is going to happen will be mental health. I can see it happening now. I can feel it happening now inside me. You know, I work in a radio station, as some of you know, but I haven't been in the place for over a year now. You know, we thought this would be over by summer. Then we thought it would go by Christmas, and now, all these times later, the problem is still going on. You know, and at some point, it's going to have to stop. People are going to have to want to resume normal lives again. People's businesses are failing. You know, it's okay for them people in their ivory towers to say, yeah, okay, but you know, when people on the streets have to work, or else they don't get fed, don't get paid, they've got families, they're going to break the law because they've got no opportunity. Now, a £500 holiday for going abroad. Where are we? Britain or North Korea? Seriously, where are we? This is held together at the moment with that the monkey spunk or gorilla glue, whatever it's called here. I had to unblock it, which I've done with your fingers. Clean your hand actually. You can get your hand out to this stuff as well. But there you go. That is now. That can now go somewhere to go like that, and that can. And now we come to this thing. Now, first thing I'm going to do here is get this handle off, because it's in two halves, and it's I'm going to making it a new one out of a lady's dress belt. I've went on eBay and bought a lady's dress belt. No, don't worry, I'm not turning into one of these cross-breasted or anything. I've got it purely for that purpose. So, you know, I'm not going to turn up on here wearing anything more than men's clothes. You know, I'm not like that. I know there's one guy who is. All strengths to mate, but I'm afraid I'm not that way inclined. But yeah. So now this will come off, and it will go into the bin, and the new one will go in its place once this has been also cleaned and glued where necessary. There are two ways of holding these things together. This type is just it's just these in here, you see, and it just takes time to bring them out. But bring them out we do in the end, and then we fit a new handle on with its when the box has been cleaned properly. Another thing, by the way, with these is that the tuning dials go over time. They go a bit darker. I've got things to do which might improve that. And thank you very much, Katie, for the advice on that one. Yes. And hopefully that'll sort it. So first of all, to get this thing off and take it from there. I mean, the case is actually okay apart from being mucky. Now, muck isn't a problem, as we know. Actually, with the radio that they have, actually muck is actually a good way of keep everything together and keep things secret. So in many cases, muck is a reasonable way of keeping everything safe over, in this case, 60 years. Right, well, there's the case. Here's the handle pieces, which are no good to man nor beast. There you go. Again, we're going to give this one a good going over with the fluids and the stuff, and bring it up, hopefully, rather well. These normally do bring bring sets up extremely well. By the way, also I've noticed that the Decca Debonaire thing is also faded from view. If you look there, if we just stand her up so you can see, there you are. Again, I've got some gold leaf coming for that, so I can do that as well. That again is not much of a problem. But anyway, first things first as always is let's give the thing a bloody good clean, as they say, and get it looking at least partly respectable, you know. This actually came from a lady in Warrington. I've bought it off Marketplace, and she had it purely to keep keeping a caravan which called the Debonaire. Didn't care whether it worked or not. But somebody has been in this and worked on it, so at some point somebody did want it to work, and well. It will. We know that. It will. So no worries there. By the way, why have I not aligned it yet, I hear you ask? Well, I like to align the set in its case where it's going to be working, because that is where it's going to be working, of course, and that's where it's good. And it's not going to be working out on the bench like that. It's going to be working inside here, and so for that reason and that reason alone, I will make it work that way, even if it kills me. In some of these cases, it probably will. And now the case is rather better, as you can see here, cleaned up. There's one or two things which I can't sort out, such as the dial there, but never mind that, and the back as well, and the sides. And also a new handle, as you can see here. The new handle, made out of a woman's dress belt. Hard on the sides there, and as you can see, I don't recommend you use handles the cart radios about, but that is better than what was there before. So that now, after another clean, we're ready to start reassembling this radio and realigning it. And right, with the cabinet clean and this clean as well, but this is the dial front. Basically what I've done here, and thanks Katie for the advice here, basically I bleached it for about 24 hours, and it came up not perfect, but you know, that's as much as we'll get with it, so thanks for that. And so at this point now, we're going to try and put this thing back together again. Now this means therefore, first of all, the speaker goes back in, like so. And then the chassis goes in. Then at that point, then at that point, with the radio back in situ, as it were, we can look at putting it back where it should be. That's what we should be doing. Always, if possible, try and align a set in its natural environment. What I'm doing here, so I'm going to quickly put this one back together like that. There we go. Speaker in. 25 volts, by the way, on this, like I said. And so now this is the chassis, which goes in like that. There we are. Make sure all the work base wires and things are out of the way, so it's nothing does anything. It goes and does anything it shouldn't anyway. It shouldn't. There we are. and of course put these back in as well. These, by the way, also, as well as putting the chassis in place, they also hold the back in place as well. So these are 2 these. So that's what these are. Also, by the way, like I said, before you get this set and try and use it, make sure that everything is kept in properly, especially this here, because otherwise it won't. Where are my glasses? Hang on. Like that. So that now goes into there like that. What should do. There we are. And now that. It's still not in there, is it? Okay, try again. And then of course we connect up the speaker wire here, and this other speaker wire which is here. The set is now on the bench here, reassembled and put together, including this of course, like I said before, and switch on.
Days old, the third
There, yeah,
youngest
it's working.
wearable time.
Which is to where there's no stationary band like on VHF, and switch on the signal generator, and we'll see where the RF is in this when it comes up, which it should do relatively quickly. I think this is off actually, well, quite a bit, I think. Okay. Find somewhere to connect it. It's something of a problem in itself, you know. There you go. So, there you go. Now, when you're doing an RF alignment, do it with the signal strength down as far as possible. Okay, it's not that off actually, so I'm inclined to give it a quick that's one, that's two, with these cans, first of all, preferably use something non-metallic, and secondly, if something doesn't want to turn, don't force it, because these things, inside it, when they break, you can get back, but it's a hell of a lot of work, and it's something which I, for one, would not like to have to do, so I won't. Okay, so now.
Centre circle for Connor Cody. One for him with the captain's armband. Trippier drives it in and wins the first corner of the second half.
That now got rid of the distortion. So not sure. Long with that. Back to medium wave. So now we've got to put the dial on the pointer, and then we can set the RF. It's quite simple. Now I can't see the pointer for this anywhere, so I'm just going to stop the camera and find it. it just goes on the front, right there. Now, when you set the RF side of it, the 2 points of it, there is the oscillator side, which on this is about right actually, on the aero side, which is this pin here. So it just goes.
Just gets it out of his feet. He knows what to do. He aims through the defender's legs. But it's the most frustrating one for a keeper because you stand there at that angle and you think that defender has got that side covered. And when he steps across in all honesty, just to try and get a block on the shot, he actually opens up that corner and when it goes through the legs, you know you've got no chance. So, a clever finish. I'll say it's the 13th England player to score on his debut since 2000. He's actually, in total, the 189th player to have scored on his England debut. The previous one was Dominic Calvert-Lewin. I've got David Newton as one. How about a foot? He nicks it off Jermaine Defoe as it was rolling in. England have increased their tally to 5 now with that late goal.
And now working radio again after all this time. All done to this, by the way. I've put the new handle on. There's the dial cleaned up. Thanks Katie for that advice there. That I'm going to come back to that. I'm going to get, when the shots are open, I'm going to get some gold leaf or a gold pen and touch that up. And in the back here, these sets, as I said previously, they have 2 battery packs and the speaker goes in the middle of them, like I said before. You see, there you are. And if you look, you see the speaker goes between there and there, 25 ohms. That's something to keep for. That rather than 8-point transformer, that's something. So this set is now working again. So we'll put the top back on it. There we are. I'm putting it up again, like so. Now when you're putting a set back together like this, it's got 2 screws. One thing which, this is just me, but one thing I never do is tighten one up and then the other one separately. I generally put them so that each one goes part of the way like that, and the other one goes part of the way like that. Okay. This is because on some sets, of intermittent faults, that will cause them. So that's why you do that. So now we have a set which has now stopped working again. There we are.
Between 2007 and 2018 are eligible to claim up to the value of the vehicle.
Now, this set is 60 years old. I can't get it perfect because of the dial. If you look closely, you can see it's got some bits on it which needs to be looking at, but it does work now. And the capacitors, by the way, only 2 need to be replaced, but there's all the various capacitors that came out of it. There you go. And as far as 6 volts and 6 volts go, I think it is 6 volts and 6 volts, yeah. Running it off 9 volts and 9 volts before, what I've done is I've taken all that out, I've put into sets of 4 AA batteries, and that works fairly well. So there you are, it's a working range after all this time, and sets like this, they work fairly well. They work fairly well, but you have to be very careful, particularly when you set them apart and put them together again, which is what I've done here. So until next time, goodbye, and God bless, and whatever God is, be careful, be loyal to Him. I certainly am, and I'll see you soon. So until next time, goodbye, and well. Goodbye, and keep fitting radios. Bye bye.